If you've opened any social media in the last 2 weeks, you've seen OpenClaw. It's everywhere. Controversy, name drama with Anthropic, OpenAI hiring its creator. For a second, people thought, wait, did OpenAI just absorb it? Nah, OpenClaw didn't die. It leveled up. It moved to a foundation. It's open, it's independent, it's community driven, and adoption is exploding. But here's the real question. Why is everyone suddenly obsessed with it? What it actually is. OpenClaw is a self-hosted AI gateway. In other words, it helps you connect everyday messaging applications like WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord, iMessage, Slack to autonomous AI agents, which means you can literally text an AI from your normal chat application and it executes tasks on a real computer, not just chat. Execute. This agent has memory, runs 24/7, schedules cron jobs, automates repetitive work, uses skills, acts proactively. It's basically a 24/7 running agent with its own machine. And once you give an agent its own computer, the use cases go crazy. Now here's the issue. I've seen some tutorials teaching you how to set up OpenClaw, but honestly, those are very scary because you have to do a bunch of SSH stuff and know about infrastructure and pray that you are doing everything okay so that you don't get hacked. And that's why a lot of people never actually try it. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to deploy OpenClaw in minutes. No server headaches, thanks to today's sponsor, Hostinger. You've probably also seen people panicking buying Mac Minis. Bro, I need a dedicated machine for my AI agent. Sure, you can technically do that, but let's think logically for a moment. You spend hundreds upfront, you manage your own security, you expose ports, you handle updates. And if you misconfigure something, you can get compromised fast. And what if you lose interest in a couple months? Now you just own an expensive box collecting dust. This is why a virtual private server, also known as a VPS, makes way more sense. It's your own machine, but in the cloud, with its dedicated CPU, dedicated RAM, 24/7 uptime, full control, no physical hardware. And Hostinger makes it ridiculously easy. And here's the part I love. Hostinger already has OpenClaw pre-configured. You can go to the VPS page using my link in the description and you'll find the different plans that you can choose from. For this tutorial, I'm gonna be using the KVM2, which is the cheapest one, and it comes with 8 GB of RAM, 100 GB of SSD, and 2 virtual CPU cores. This is more than enough for running an agent. Actually, I think you should have room to do other things like deploying a web app or even have your OpenClaw agent deploy something else. If you need more power, more storage, you are doing complex stuff, you can always upgrade. And that's the beauty of using the cloud. So let's choose this plan. Since I'm partnering with Hostinger, any period above 12 months that you select in your plan, it's eligible for an extra 10% off using my promo code CODEWITHBETO. So you can say code with Beto here, click on apply, and this will apply an extra 10% discount in your plan. If I scroll a little bit, you'll find that we have this ready to use AI. This is the recommended way. It already comes with AI so that you don't need to set your API keys. You can select this if you want to. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to use your own OpenAI API or Anthropic API to connect your AI. So if you unselect this, by the way, this is going to be cheaper and still the discount applies. Next, you can go ahead and select the server location. Since I'm in the US, I'm going to use United States, but you can choose anyone that is closest to you. Once you have access to your VPS instance, we need to configure it. So let's go ahead and select the server location. I'm going to select United States since it's the closest to me. Press next. Once you choose the location, we need to select an operating system for our computer. In my case, I'm going to use Ubuntu. Just let's go simple with this. You can select the latest stable, and now we need to create a root password. So let's press this generate. Make sure to save your password because you're going to need it to log in as the root user to your VPS. If you want, you can also add an SSH key. This will allow you to access your server without the password using SSH. You can also set this up later via the dashboard. So for now, let's just create the password and press next. If you want, you can also add additional features like malware scanner and Docker manager. I'm just gonna press finish setup for now. And this will start setting up my virtual private server. This is gonna take about 3 minutes, so let's give it a moment. Okay, and after a moment, we are ready. Using SSH, for example, you can copy this and paste it in your terminal, say yes, hit enter, and it's going to ask me for my password. So let's use the password that we created before. I'm going to paste it and hit enter, and we are in. We just connected using SSH. and using our password. Once we are inside our instance, we can start using commands like pwd to check the root folder, but let's actually go back to the website and let's click on manage VPS. So here's the Hostinger panel. I can see my Ubuntu machine running, and what I'm going to do now is just go to the Docker manager and press install. All right, that was quick. It's done. Now on the left, let's go to the catalog. I'm going to search for OpenClaw and just press deploy. All right, something important here, guys. This OpenClaw gateway token, it's going to be used to connect to our instance through a website. So we're going to use it later. Make sure to save it in a secure place. All right, next, I recommend actually using Telegram, but you can also use WhatsApp if you want to by providing your number. But in this case, I'm going to use Telegram. So I open it on the website. And the next thing that we want to do is chat with the bot father to create a new bot. So there's a bunch of commands that you can run. For example, when you start a new conversation with the bot father, you can do /start, and this will give you commands that you can use. Like for example, new bot. So let's do new bot, and it's going to tell me, all right, new bot, how are we calling it? Please choose a name for your bot. All right, so I'm going to call mine CWV from Code with Beto OpenClaw _bot. All right, done. Congratulations. Now we have the access token. Let's copy that. Let's go back here, paste it in here. Once we copy the token here, we can press deploy, and it's done. So now our VPS has Docker installed with the OpenClaw image. Now let's press this open link, and we're about to access OpenClaw. We just need to copy the gateway token that we saved before. So let's bring this bad boy here, paste it, and log in. Not going to save this now, but now we're in and we can start chatting with our bot. Hello now. All right, so at this point it's working. So if I go back to Telegram and click on my bot, I can start a new conversation, and this will give me a Telegram user ID as well as a pairing code. And it says that we need to ask the bot owner to approve it with this command. So let's copy that. Let's go back to Hostinger. Inside my Docker manager, let's click on the terminal, and we are in. So if I try to run this command directly in the root, this is actually not going to work. This is because we are running OpenClaw inside a Docker container. So if I run docker ps, you'll see that we are running OpenClaw here. To run the command inside this container, we can use docker executed, the name of the container, and the command here. So let's delete that. Let's go back again, copy the command and paste it in here. Hit enter. And we have approved our Telegram access. That means that we can go back here and say, hey, what's up? Hit send. Okay, so it's now working. As you notice, I did it a bunch of times. It wasn't working because after I ran the command, somehow something was wrong, so I needed to restart my VPS. So you can just press reboot VPS. It's gonna take like 10 to 20 seconds. And after that, you can start chatting with your bot. This is so cool. So this means that I can also chat from my phone. So I'm gonna say, can you say hello to my YouTube audience from my phone? And as you can see, it's replying right there. Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. This is awesome, guys. So I'm gonna ask, what model are you? Okay, so it's the Nexus GPT-4. So right now we're using the AI from Hostinger that it comes by default with the instance, which is great, but you might want to change providers. You can use many providers directly with OpenClaw, and the way we can configure, for example, OpenAI, is just by running the onboard through the CLI. So what I'm gonna do is just go back to my instance, then select the terminal, copy this command and paste it in here. And of course, I need to set my OpenAI API key. You need to be very careful with this. So you can get your OpenAI API key from the platform.openai.com. I created one specifically for my OpenClaw instance. Something very important to highlight here is that you should set a budget limit. That way, in the worst case scenario, let's say that somehow you lose access, or maybe the usage of your instance it's very high. This way you can prevent the cost from going out of hand. So in this case, I'm setting my budget to $30. So I know that in the worst case, I'm not going to spend more than $30. So we need to consent that this is in beta. Okay, so let's say yes. I'm gonna do a manual configuration, update values, local gateway, and now I'm going to select the model by pressing enter on OpenAI. I'm gonna pass just my OpenAI API key, hit enter. I'm gonna use 5.2 reasoning, but make sure to use the one that you feel more comfortable with. All right, so after setting my OpenAI key, I had to do it again, restart my VPS. You know, again, this is a beta version, but now I ask my agent, my OpenClaw instance, what model are you? And in this case, now it's GPT-4 5.2. So this is amazing. Now we can start doing crazy things like setting up a cron job or a reminder. So for example, I'm gonna tell OpenClaw each morning at 8 a.m. Central Time, send me interesting blogs from the official React Native docs. You know, since I'm a React Native developer. By the way, check out my course if you want to learn React Native. Expo blog, OpenAI blog, Anthropic blog, just to stay in the loop, right? So right now I need to go to social media and doom scroll for a while to get useful data. But I think these blogs are resourceful and high quality reads. So if OpenClaw can go and get that for me and just send the information if there is something new, that way I don't have to go to the website. So yeah, let's just go ahead and send this message. I'm gonna say, yeah, this chat is okay, and I'm just sharing the links directly because it's asking for the actual links, and it's scheduled. Job morning dev blogs. It's gonna check all the blogs and share with me the relevance. Of course, I can, always say, I'm not interested in this type of topic. Then it can filter that out, or just bring me a specific topic. I will only message you when I find important items. Now let's talk about some skills that OpenClaw can use. And for that, I recommend to check out this website, clawhub.ai. You can find some of the popular skills here. And by the way, this is actually pretty easy to install once you have your agent running. For example, we can just copy the link, and I'm going to install this self-improving agent. It's great because it captures learnings, errors, and connection to enable continuous improvement. So what you can do is just copy the link, go to the chat and say, hey, please install this skill, and pass the link. Boom, after a moment, it's installed. Didn't have to do anything, it's done. This is the beauty of OpenClaw. You can be laying down, messaging with your bot. And if you really want to confirm this, you can always go open your terminal and run the CLI, for example, OpenClaw skills list, and hit enter. So you can always SSH into the instance and check anything that you need to. But of course, I think the beauty of OpenClaw is that you actually don't have to interact too much with the computer. You can just ask OpenClaw to do that for you. Now let's talk about security with OpenClaw. It's very important to understand that we are actually giving a computer to the agent, and of course we are providing our data, and sometimes I've seen some people that is giving credentials and API keys to the model and giving it full power. That's cool, that's pretty powerful, but also you have to consider that, in the worst case scenario, the AI can hallucinate and use your credit card and your credentials to do bad things. Or if you are not careful, you can get hacked, and hackers could get your data. The advantage that we get by using Hostinger is that it's secure by default. For example, we are using Docker to run OpenClaw, and by doing that, we are already taking care of several essential protections. For example, the gateway is not exposed on a fixed or well-known port. We are reducing the risk of automated scans and brute force attacks. The gateway authentication is secured by our auth token that we're using to connect on the website, and this also prevents unauthenticated access to the API. You should always treat external data as untrusted. You can also block dangerous commands and many more things that you can do to kind of like improve your security. And I would say that you should do some of these things depending on the credentials and data that you are sharing with your bot. Personally, I would recommend to just experiment right now. This project is in beta and it's improving very fast, of course. So personally, the way I'm going to be using this is just with open source projects and public data. And of course, things that I'm comfortable sharing with everyone else, like my notes or some ideas that I have. It's okay if I get hacked and you get my list of ideas. That's totally okay. But like I said before, you can always be very strict depending on what you're doing. If you're providing credentials and you really want to do extreme things with your agent, you can do that, but just be very careful. If you want to run OpenClaw without limits and save serious money, check out my link in the description and use my promo code CodeWithBeto to get an extra 10% off. This is an exclusive discount. Thanks to Hostinger for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to give it a like, leave me a comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.